Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm going to be telling you all about my publishing masters. For those of you that don't know, I have been doing a masters in publishing since September. There are a few things that crop up again and again that people ask me about this, and I also ages and ages ago asked on Instagram if there were any particular questions that any of you wanted answered about doing a publishing masters. So far I've only completed one semester of the degree, so there is still a lot to go, but I'm gonna answer these to the best of my ability, and I'll probably do another couple videos on my experiences of doing a master's as well. So I'm just gonna get into the questions, and I guess the best place to start is telling you why I decided to do a master's in publishing. So I've known for the past few years that I wanted to get into publishing. I had a couple of placements that I did, and a lot of the work that I did as part of my vice presidency in the English and Creative Writing Society at my old uni were kind of related to the types of things that you would do in, I would say particularly a publicity role in a publishing house. So I've really known since then that I wanted to get into publishing. I tried to apply for jobs the summer after I finished my undergrad degree and didn't really get anywhere. I had one interview and it wasn't great. I took a year out from studying and I just worked in that year, and then eventually I came to the decision that I wanted to do a master's in publishing. It seemed like the step that was best for me to take. You don't need to have a master's to get into publishing. You don't even necessarily need an undergraduate degree. People have various different routes that they get into the industry. This was just the one that felt like it was the best option for me personally. I got asked a lot about the application process, and obviously the application process for a publishing master's will differ depending on which university you apply to. I am currently studying at the University of Derby, and they had a very straightforward application process. I think mine was particularly straightforward because I wasn't waiting on any grades. I already knew that I had a first class honours in my undergraduate degree, and that's another thing as well. You don't need a first to get onto a master's course, at least not the one at Derby, and the one at Derby is great in my opinion. I think I had to do a very short personal statement and then just some tick the boxes kind of questions. I don't know if it's slightly more complicated if you are waiting on grades, but it was definitely a very easy application process compared to other application processes that I looked at. I was also asked what kind of modules I take. So in my first semester, I had two core modules. One was an editing and editorial module, and then that one really taught you the distinctions between what is editing and what is editorial. I definitely enjoyed the editorial side more. Editorial is a lot to do with dealing with authors, commissioning books, coming up with ideas for books, whereas editing is more the nitty-gritty factual checking, proofreading, those kinds of things. Another core module was called the publishing profession, which is quite a general module about the different kinds of roles there are in publishing. This module kind of just built your general awareness of trends and issues in publishing. And the optional module I took was a history module, which was essentially looking at the history of publishing all the way back to Gutenberg Press, all the way up to today, and then applying what you know about that history to thinking about the future of publishing. This semester my core modules are print and digital production, which is all about using software like InDesign, Illustrator, those kinds of things. It's about cover design, it's about typesetting, it's about how you can use images properly, all those kinds of production computer-based things. My other core module is on marketing, and that's definitely my favourite module that I've done so far. Marketing and publicity is the area of publishing that I'm most interested in, and it's all about how you can apply those marketing skills that are present in basically every industry, but specifically then applying them to books, really getting you thinking about how you would run a campaign, the difference between what you can do with marketing and what you can do with publicity. It's definitely my favorite module and the most applicable to what I want to do in the future. And then I also do a publishing skills module, which is very similar to the publishing profession module that I took in the first semester. It's kind of a carry on from that one. And again, it's just developing the general skills that you will need to work in publishing, working with particular programs and databases that you should be familiar with. And then there is a research module as well. And another question that came up a lot was, do you do a dissertation? You can do a dissertation if you want, so quite an academic research-based kind of thing. The majority of us have decided to do a publishing project instead, which is essentially making a book. I'll do a full video on what I'm doing for my project, but that also involves a huge amount of research as well. And it's basically a culmination of all the skills that you've developed from other modules. So you've got your research skills in there, you have your design skills from the production module, and just an overall awareness of trends as well and why a book would be successful. But I will do a full video where I talk about my project specifically, especially because I may need your help with it. Following on from what modules I take, I was also asked a lot about how you are assessed in those modules. There's a wide range of assessment methods used in this degree. I've done presentations. I've done 2 presentations. They were both solo presentations, which I love. I love presentations. Like, I get to stand up in a room for 15 minutes and everyone has to listen to me speak. It's the dream. There's also straightforward academic essays as well. So if you've come from a field like English literature, you'll be very familiar with the kind of academic rigor that you need in order to achieve those essays. I've done assignments like how you would communicate effectively with editors and authors about the changes that you would like to make to a text, developing those kind of communication skills. I've also done business plans. This semester I'm going to be doing a marketing strategy, which I am really enjoying. Reports on kind of how you analyze data. I'm going to be doing an assignment on how you properly put together an ebook. I'm also going to be making a website this semester, which is really exciting. So there are a bunch of different kinds of assessments. Some you will obviously enjoy more than others. Like I said, I really enjoy the business side of things and also presentations. I was asked how many contact hours that we have as part of our masters, and I think each module has about a 4-hour session allocated to it, but it doesn't always last that full 4 hours depending on what the session is covering. And also, if you need any extra advice on assignments and things, all my lecturers have a very open door policy. If you ever want to email, if you ever want to go for a chat, it's not a big deal whatsoever. If you ever want to send them work and them give you some pointers, that's totally fine. I was asked if we have any placements. The answer is no. Not as part of the degree scheme. There is no mandatory placements that you have to do. But if you want to take those on, then our lecturers are very, very helpful in pointing you in the right direction for where to find those kind of placements. I did a week work experience at Trigger Publishing, who are a mental health publishers in the Midlands, and I had absolutely the best time there. I thought it was great. And our lecturers are very good at flagging up any opportunities that they think we might be interested in. But obviously, it's kind of on you to apply for those things and figure out how you're going to balance them alongside the workload of your degree. So no, there are no mandatory placements that you have to do, but if that is something you would like to pursue, the staff will be very helpful in any way that they can for that. I was also asked if we go on field trips. Yeah, we've had a few. In our first week, we went to the Bronte Parsonage, which I think was just an excuse for us to bond, as opposed to having any actual valuable publishing information. We visited Emerald Publishing, who are an academic publishers, and even though that's not necessarily the area of publishing I want to go into, it was still a really valuable learning experience about how a publishing house functions on a day-to-day basis. We're going to be going to London Book Fair, which is a very big deal in the publishing industry. A lot of business deals are done there, and it's a great opportunity to just learn more about the industry. By the time this video goes up, I will probably already have been and We've also had a number of fantastic guest speakers come in, and that's something that we are all always really excited about. You know, we learn so much from our lecturers. They are so experienced and they have so much knowledge to give us. You know, they've worked at Bloomsbury, we've got someone that works at Vintage, we've got someone that has run their own publishing house for years and years. But it's also really great to hear from people who have worked in other areas of the industry, people who have worked in children's publishing, people who have worked at HarperCollins, people who have worked in academic publishing, people who have worked on literary events as well. It's just, there's a real range of people that have come in to speak to us, and it's always really exciting when you have someone else come in as well. I was also asked how my experience of a master's differs from my experience at undergrad. Master's studies is a lot more independent. You are far less spoon-fed. You have to, you know, when you go home, go and do your own research, find your own sources of information. And I think especially with the publishing masters, the best way to achieve is to just generally be aware of what's going on in the publishing industry. You know, they're not going to recap you on every article that there has been in the bookseller in the past month. It's on you to go and read the bookseller. And I think the greater your general awareness of the publishing industry, the better your aptitude for achieving in this kind of master's scheme. I'm also working on a lot of different things at the same time in a master's, which isn't really something that I had to do at undergrad, apart from maybe when I did my final project in third year. But this time around with my studies, I kind of have all of my upcoming assignments kind of ticking away at the back of my head, and that's something that I would really recommend for master's studies, is really familiarize yourself with the assignments at the start of the semester, because then you can just have them in the back of your head kind of brewing away. That's something that I think is really helpful. More generally on the difference in experiences of studying a master's and an undergrad, I'm far less involved in the university as a whole during my masters. You know, I'm only here for a year. I'm not really bothered about like the student union and that kind of thing. I'm far less involved in societies. I didn't join a society in my masters, whereas I was very much involved with societies during my undergrad. But I probably would have time if I wanted to. I did think about joining the football team in my masters, but I really just wanted to prioritize my studies. Whereas during undergrad, while my studies were very, very important to me, the societies that I was a part of, they were also monumentally important to me too. I think in my masters, I've just really reevaluated my priorities, and my priorities are getting the best possible grade that I can. You know, everything else is very much in the background. In saying that, if during your undergrad you weren't really involved with societies or sports or those kinds of things, going to a new uni, starting a master's, it's a great opportunity to get involved with those things now. I just kind of felt like I'd been there and done that. I think that covers everything that I've been asked about my master's, but if you have any other questions, do leave a comment down below and I will try and answer it as best as I possibly can. As I said, I've only completed one semester so far, so I'm sure I will have a lot more thoughts as the year goes on. I'm not sure when this video is going to go up, but if my survey for my final project, which is all about poetry publishing, specifically LGBT plus poetry, I will leave my survey linked down below in the description, and if you could fill that out, that would be amazing. But like I said, I will do a full video talking about my final project because it's something that I'm really excited about, and I think you guys would be really excited about as well. As I said, if you've got any other questions, leave them down below and I will try and answer them. I hope you guys are doing really well, and I will talk to you in my next video.